we've seen women objectified in music videos like as props. And
Yes.
that's flipped on its head. The men are props. I see the scene where you're spanking the guy.
Yes.
Why was it important to get that message in there and kind of flip this narrative on its head about what a woman's space should be in popular music videos?
Honestly, everything you're saying is the exact same thing I would say on these Zoom calls. I was like, men can glorify ass in their videos. I want to do it with this in an artful, really fun, beautiful way. And I think it's so great how women can claim their ownership of their bodies and not let the world do it. And we get to do it in the way that we want to. And it was really fun. I felt really pretty on the shoot days. And I look back and I'm like, that's not the same person right here. But it was fun for the moment. I'm going to tap back into that sometimes. But it was really fun.
Okay, so last time I talked to you was about this time last year. You and Halle were performing Ungodly Hour.
Yeah.
Now you come back on the main stage, performing solo, debuting your new single, Have Mercy. How does it feel to be back here on the main stage performing solo?
It feels really great. I'm going to be honest, I'm very scared, but I'm really grateful. I think it's like been such a big pot of emotions for me this week because the video is out and then performing 2 days later. So I've been really anxious and I've been holding on to it like near and dear to my heart. Like I finished Have Mercy in April. So I've been holding on to it for so long, and you know, to finally birth it, it's like I'm in shock almost.
It's got to feel like a relief.
Yes.
Yet you still got the nerves for Sunday. I mean, having done all that you've done and accomplished, I think it's something refreshing about hearing you say you're nervous because it's kind of surprising. What is it that makes you nervous and anxious about this?
Well, I think when you're nervous and have the nerves, it shows that you're alive and that you truly care about your craft. And you know, I still have such a long way to grow, and I'm so nitpicky about myself. I don't know if it's because my rising's Virgo or if it's the Cancer sensitive side inside of me or what, but I'm like so nitpicky, and there's so many things that I'm like, okay, do that, notes this, notes that, and I'm like always in my head. But it's also excitement because I'm finally showing the world who I am completely 360. So yeah, it's a huge range of emotions.
Nerves are a sign of humility as well too, so that's a beautiful thing. What is it that allowed you to say, you know what, now is the time? How did you know now is the time to drop this record?
Well, every time I've been either doing press or doing the shoots for my solo career, it always takes me back to the moment where I'd be like in my room back in Atlanta, like dancing in the mirror, like full going out. And it's crazy because I'm going to actually make that moment on the VMA stage, and it's something I've kind of always seen for myself in my head. And I'm so grateful and blessed to have my sister, my best friend, and you know, she was out filming Little Mermaid and I missed her so much, and because music is so therapeutic for us, I couldn't just stop creating, so it was like just inside of me. And so, you know, now I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna put it out, get this done, boom. And yeah, so timing is everything. It just happened, so I'm really grateful.
So when did you realize that this would actually become an album, that this was something that you're actually going to put into the world and not just for yourself to, you know, express yourself?
Music high key really like saved my life, and it was just really pouring out of me in a way that I couldn't really contain. And you know, as I was creating it, I started seeing it visually in my head. I started coming up with mood boards, all of that, and it kind of just started creating within itself. And I was doing it, and then I even paused it when we got in the pandemic, and then that's when Sis and I were doing our backyard tennis court tours of Ungodly Hour, so that was really fun. And it's crazy to see how the album, what I originally thought it was going to be, has evolved into this really empowerment, loving myself kind of record. And I can't wait for everyone to hear it. I'm still like narrowing down the songs. There's so many because I've just been creating so much.
How many did you record?
Oh, so many, like 100, I think.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then now I'm narrowing it down from like 30, 20, yeah, around there. So just it's kind of hard.
What is the overall vibe? Like when you have 100 songs, are you picking the best from each particular vibe, or do you pick a sound and say, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to do the best of this sound?
I think honestly it's really about what sounds cohesive as a project. You know, I love music. I'm such a fan of music, all kinds, and it's been fun experimenting with my voice, and I've kind of learned that I love how my tone sounds on pop records, which you guys really haven't even heard yet. So it's kind of been fun, like finding myself through the music. And yeah, it's just whatever feels the best. I'm all about a feeling.
You know, you talk a lot about mood boards. You mentioned it now. We talked about it last time we chatted. How did the vision come together for this video, the treatment? Who put it together? You got to walk me through it from top to bottom.
Well, I have the best team ever. Shout out to Parkwood and Columbia. Andrew, who's my creative director. we really wanted this to feel fun, and we both saw pink, and we were trying to figure out what could kind of, and he thought of sorority. At first I was like, huh. But then I kind of saw the light, and I love like everything with a suspenseful twist. I love a storyline. And I was like, okay, we do sorority. Can we add like a little dark twist up in there somehow? And so, after watching the video, I wanted to really kind of make it all about ass, but in an artistic way. And I think it's so cool how women have this incredible power, how they can leave men in a trance with their bodies and their spirits and the way they carry themselves. And so it's literally luring in men and turning them into stone. So it's like a modern day Medusa.
What I love about that so much is it serves multiple purposes, which we're seeing happen more and more in the ecosystem with women artists. It's not just ass for ass sake. Even if it was, that'd be cool too. You got a lot of it. But it's also about what it looks like when women have agency over their own bodies.
Absolutely.
I saw who directed this video. Why was it important for Black women to be behind the vision and directing this video and carrying it out?
Yes. Well, shout out to Karina. She's incredible. It was so cool, like being directed by her on the screen, and then like looking to the left and seeing Andrew like do poses on the side. It was like a family feeling and a vibe on set, and I was so happy. And I think it's amazing how Karina gets it, because she's a woman, she's a Black woman, and there's some things that I didn't even have to really explain because she knows it by living life. And I think you kind of get to see the power that we hold within the music video. It's fun. I felt sexy doing it, but it's also very empowering.
Nah, it was amazing. Also amazing, Miss Tina.
Yes, Miss Tina.
Miss Tina popped up. How did that come about?
Wow. Okay. So in the video, it's like the mysterious neighbor like peeking, and we were like, who could do this right? And Ricky, who was with Parkwood, he was like, oh, she would be amazing. I was like, are you kidding me? If she do it, hell yeah. And she came and she did it. And one, she's so beautiful, and I was just so shocked with like how long she stayed the whole day, and she sent my mom the most beautiful message that almost brought me to tears. And I'm just really grateful for her and B support and their love. And it's because of Miss Tina birthing B and Solange that that's why my sister and I are doing what we're doing now, seeing examples like that. So it was almost like a really huge full circle moment.
Now the internet is gonna go crazy. They're gonna I'm getting literally, I don't know if you can see him, goosebumps thinking about it. You see my arms.
I see.
Because Beyonce is such a once in a generation artist, and you are a whole different entity.
Thank you.
Yet we see nodes of that greatness in you.
Thank you.
And seeing Miss Tina in the video is almost like, yeah, she sees it too. How do you process that when you get support from Beyonce and Tina knows, and when you feel like you're carrying on the legacy of all these women that have been the foundation for you?
I don't really process it, quite frankly. It's such a huge compliment. B has always been such a huge inspiration to me. So for people to even say that that's the vibe they get from me is a huge compliment in itself, because she's a legend, she's an icon. So it's like, okay, well, I have a lot to do and a lot to grow, so I would only hope to even have an ounce of her success. So we'll see what happens, but I'm really grateful. I can't wait for people to see me through the music and just learn about me completely. So it's gonna be really a fun ride.
One of your earliest Instagram posts that caught my attention was you posted Nina Simone dancing.
Yeah.
With the caption "Freedom." What did that mean to you? Why'd you post that?
So that has been one of my favorite videos for years. And it's been on my Finsta, and I always go back and watch it, because just seeing her come alive on the stage, you can tell her mind is just elsewhere, and her soul is just free and open. And that's how I feel on stage. I feel like it's the perfect example of how I feel internally. And outside of the overthinking, and when I get past all of that, when the lights come on and it's that actual moment, it's the feeling of freedom. It's the place I feel most safe. It's the place I feel most myself. The place I don't feel judged. And I think that video was that's the feeling, because you can never really describe it to someone. And it's really funny how fast forward, how me performing Feeling Good was kind of like my first performance by myself, and being such a huge fan of Ms. Nina Simone, it's really funny how there's always these little nuggets and little signs that things will come back around. And Nina, B, Khalees. Oh, I'm the biggest Khalees fan. Imogene Heap, Grimes. There's so many incredible women that I look up to. Missy Elliott. So there's so many, and yeah, I could go on for days.
When I think about freedom, when I think about how you express yourself on your IG, when we got to see, oh, this is who Chlöe is, it made me think about how many people who've grown up in the public eye, and the public isn't ready for them to grow up yet. And usually they have this transition period where it's like, hey, I'm an adult. You didn't wait for any permission. You just said, no, I'm grown and I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
How did you get that confidence and get to that space? Or was it something that was just natural, like, F what everybody thinks, I'm just going to do what I feel like doing?
Honestly, it was really natural. I seem very confident online. Internally, I'm not really, but on my Finsta, that's all I was really posting. Ask Halle, all my family members who were on it. So it wasn't like I don't really care. I'm just it just was me. And that's why I kind of laughed at the response, because I was like, oh, it's just me being me. Oh, that's great. You like it. It's cool if you don't. That's fine. But I think it's important for us to learn that no matter what people really say about you, you kind of just have to put your blinders on and just be yourself unapologetically. And that's really, truly the biggest lesson I've learned. You know, a lot of times people are like, oh, I do too much, or even performing wise, but it's just me feeling free and getting it out. And I'm happy that I have the freedom to express myself in that way.
There's no such thing as having too much self-expression, in my opinion. That's a wild critique. But it's interesting because you could kind of look at your Instagram and see that, oh, she's about to birth something new that's just Chlöe, just off of the covers. When I looked at, your Mind Still, how you flip blues song, and so many different records.
Yeah.
Why was it important to use that platform and those cover songs to kind of introduce the world to who Chlöe Bailey is?
Well, if you recall, that's what Sis and I would do all the time. That's how we got started with the covers. And I think being such huge fans of music, it's been easy to do and put a spin on things. And, Halle and I being so far apart, I miss her and I miss hearing the harmonies in like either my left or right ear. Like, I miss that. But it was fun doing that in my bedroom. It was literally the curtain by my porch door, and I would just go.
Alongside your music career, of course, you're getting ready to star in Jane.
Yeah.
How did you choose that project? What's your process like when you're saying yes to things? And how much of Chlöe the musician is related to Chlöe the actress?
Yeah. Well, I love suspense. So when I read the script, I was like, okay, I'm going to go for this. I did the chemistry read over Zoom with Madeleine, and she's the dopest, and I got it, and we did it. We did it a month in Albuquerque, and I can't wait to see it. It's really fun. I love acting. It's another way to express myself, like how I do with music and storytelling.
What else are you saying yes to? What's next for you?
A lot of people don't know, when I was younger, my main dream was to be a Broadway star. So maybe one day I'll do Broadway, or even something if they adapt it into a movie, who knows? But I really want an EGOT, and I'm going to get it. And I promise you that. So we don't, the sky's the limit.
The sky is the limit. That EGOT is coming. And Chlöe, we're just glad to be witnesses, man.
Thank you
so much for the time.
Thank you for your time. I love you guys at MTV. You all have always supported me. So
we love you back.
Thank you.
What do you even know? Thank you so much.
Thank you.